Hello, my name is Joe Peta, and I'm the author of Trading Bases, a story about Wall Street, gambling, and baseball. The concept for the book came about by accident, literally by accident. In early 2011, as I crossed the street as a pedestrian in downtown Manhattan, a city ambulance plowed into me, and I suffered a massive leg injury. Although I was grateful and definitely lucky to have survived the encounter, the injury effectively curtailed my 15-year career on Wall Street. Worse, as I lived in San Francisco, I spent the first few months of the year stranded 2,500 miles from my family in a wheelchair as I healed and underwent physical therapy. To pass the time, as spring training began, I threw myself into the baseball season for the first time in many years. I was familiar with sabermetrics and the statistical revolution that had changed how the game was analyzed, but I decided I wanted to understand the logic behind the formulas, so I opened up my computer and performed my own calculations. And that's when I started seeing abundant similarities between baseball and the financial industry. The individual team models I was building to project performance were very similar to the models traders use to value companies. I also realized the baseball industry, despite being a fraction of the size of the financial industry, actually did a better job of using data to evaluate its employees. On the other hand, as I watched games unfold, it was startlingly clear that baseball managers could learn a lot from traders about probability and risk management. And of course, for those inclined to bet on games, the applications of Moneyball were clear. It's as silly to bet on a baseball game without using today's advanced data as it would be to invest in a company without looking at its financial statements. Something else unexpected happened as I devoted my time to following the season in a way that I hadn't since I was a teenager. I rediscovered my love of baseball. By the time I had recovered enough to board an airplane and come home, I took my 5-year-old daughter to her first baseball game. Seeing the game through her eyes, I realized just how much baseball had aided in my recovery, and that the sport that my father had adopted as an immigrant to show his love for America had marked yet another milestone in the timeline of my family. Even amidst scenes on the trading floors of banks and casinos in Las Vegas, that story became a central chapter in the book, and that's why, above all else, this is a book about baseball. As such, the book has plenty of references to players and teams and stories that have spanned my life as a fan, but it's also peppered with references to Van Gogh, Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, the comic strip Bloom County, the television show Moonlighting, and many other pop culture references. As a result, I hope it's as fun to read as it was for me to write.